Welcome to the first Scratch Devlog. Over the past month and a half, I have been creating a Scratch RPG game, which includes things like movement, the ability to break and pick up items, as well as move it around in your inventory, and if you have enough of that item, stack it. I also drew lots of inspiration from many sources such as ZapCD, Economine, Request, Arcvale, Goblin, Marine Biology, Choo Choo Charles, and Super Mario and Scratch, as well as many more, and pixel art that I made myself, such as rocks, mushrooms, sticks, bushes, tree stumps, and many more, which are also inspired by pixel art master Pixel Overload. So what is the first step in creating this? Well, first it's tiles and movement. I've tried to create a game like this before, including many of the same features as well as more. However, it was extremely glitchy, and many of the people who played the project reported many of the glitches. I've even tried to make a game like the exact one I'm making now, and it didn't go so well. Whenever I got to the tiles, it was very easy, but once it got to the movement, it was really hard, and I always got stuck on that. This was because Groove Patch's Mario game heavily influenced me, especially since it was the only Scratch game I looked into. So my solution to this was simply to delete it. This worked very well, as I was able to publish my first Scratch video for this project, titled Season 2 Episode 1 RPG Tutorial. And then the player movement from there was very easy. The animation after that was borrowed from Chromeworks technology, which, as you can see, I heavily modified with some great changes. So now we had to start with step 2, which was nature, and just sprucing up the place. So beforehand, I was stuck with some measly rocks, as you can see here, but then I added in mushrooms, sticks, and this weird creepy coal thing. And I even added water, which, my god, it was incredibly difficult to add in. As you can see, this is all of my script, and I absolutely hated adding this in. So then, I decided that my game just didn't look good enough, and so I switched from a 16x16 to a 32x32, and as you can see on screen, we have the comparisons between the 16x16 and the 32x32, and I feel that I made a huge improvement, with lots of pixel art, mainly coming from pixel art master Pixel Overload once again, and some lovely sprite changes. After that, the atmosphere of the game changed tremendously, as you can see on screen right now, and I honestly love the changes that I made, and I hope that you guys really do too. Now it was time for step 3, which was inventory and crafting. I already had 2 videos on how to do this, and it included stackable items, which most tutorials didn't have. The only problem was that my tutorial was kind of hard to follow, and the inventory system wasn't designed for high clone count projects such as that of my own. So because of this, it took quite a while to implement, but after a long time, aka a week and a half, I was finally able to implement it, as you can see on screen, with the ability to drag and drop items, stack them, and everything that you could ever want. After that, I modified the inventory system, as you can see here on screen, and I also compacted some of the code, as you can see. After that, I toyed around with the system and what happens when you hover over items, such as making it light up, increase and decrease in size, and have a ghost effect. However, I decided not to implement any of these changes. Before I move on, I just quickly want to give some credit to Funnut, who designed the system. You can find a tutorial for this on Coding Stickman's channel, this person's project, which just helped me save time on this, and QuickPick, who designed this text engine in Scratch that I used for my inventory. So now it's time for step 4, which is just adding to the interaction and gameplay, and to put it simply, that's just breaking things and adding it to an inventory. So this requires like 3 steps. There's detecting the tile, replacing the tile, and adding it to the inventory. For the first step, I use Groove Patch's system because A, he's really good at Scratch, and B, I suck at math. So here we have the script that detects the tile, pretty simple, and then this just adds it on. This little bit is replacing the tile, and I made sure to focus a lot on the wait time to reduce the amount of pause when collecting the tile, and then this is adding that item to the inventory. After that, I looked at games like ZatCD, Request, and Economine, and the cursors and the way they break stuff, and I decided that I wanted to revolutionize the whole system. Where beforehand I was collecting things using the F key when you're on top, now I added a cursor. So this cursor would be the size of the tiles, and it would follow the mouse pointer. It will light up whenever it is on an available tile. It also has different amounts of health depending on the tile and how tough I feel it should be and how many clicks it should require to break it. And then once you break it, it can be added to the inventory as an item that just kind of floats. And then I added in some particles. So now we're on to step 5, which was chunks. And I watched Goblin for this and the options for chunk loading and some of the things you need to think about when doing this. And because of that, the chunk system is inspired by Goblin and Minecraft, a big influencer. So right now the chunk loading is still in beta. I'm trying to add in a desert biome, but you still have to manually switch out the scripts to generate new biomes. But once you reach the end of a chunk, it will automatically generate a new biome. So what is going to happen next? What is the future of this game? Well, one word, action. Action is going to be the next devlog, because you cannot have an RPG that does not include enemies or combat. And when you look at all of the games that I've reviewed, they all have some form of enemy and combat. So now I'm going to end off this video here. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I do not believe I will make a tutorial series. It might simply just be these devlogs for the next little while. But for the next while, I am going to be working on adding in action and RPG enemies and all of that stuff. And that is going to form the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time.